Hi everyone, and thank you so much for joining me for part 2, where we look at my original Star Wars action figures from my childhood. If you missed part 1, I will link it in the description box down below so you can watch it. And let's get started. Next, we travel to Tatooine and see a Jawa. The Jawa is very small, only about 2.5 inches or 5 centimeters high. And the Jawa also has 2 accessories. It's got the Jawa blaster, this woven knitted cape. The first Jawa figures did not have this kind of a garment. They had a vinyl cape. This is obviously very hard to find these days, and I do not have that version, clearly. I've got this one, which is the more common version. When the cape is on, you can see the Jawa's face here, and you can see their little painted hands. This is what it looks like on the side and the back and the side. Here is the figure. It's got a lot of molded detail to kind of make it, again, look like flowing fabric. The figure itself is mostly a reddish brown color. The face is painted black, and then there are the 2 glowing Jawa eyes. The bandolier detail is painted. The Jawa's hands are painted black. The right hand is molded so the Jawa can hold the gun. And the details continue all around the back, including the painted bandolier. Here are the Jawa's feet. And the copyright information, GMFGI 1977, Hong Kong. Here is the Jawa gun. It does look pretty much exactly like it does in the movie. And here is the other side. Here is the robe. It's a rather simple garment. It's just dark brown. It is hemmed at the bottom, and it's got the attached hood. And here it is in the back. I know this robe is more common, but it's more movie accurate as well, so I'm kind of glad I have this version. This is the Jawa card back. Next up, we've got Luke Skywalker. Luke is dressed in the outfit he wears throughout the movie. He has the 5 points of articulation, movement at the head, his arms go back and forth, and his hips move so he can sit. The top part is his white shirt. It's got nice molded detail to show the fabric draping. His hands are painted. He's got a painted on belt with a molded utility pack over here. And then his pants and his boots, they appear to be painted a light brown color. Luke's right arm is molded in a special way to show that he is holding a lightsaber, which you can see protruding here. There's a mechanism in the arm that extends the lightsaber. So you would push this lever forward so that the lightsaber extends. And some early versions had this also come out as a telescoping saber, but obviously this version is not one of those. Luke's lightsaber is yellow. I'm not 100% sure exactly why that was, but I imagine it was just to differentiate it from the other lightsabers. It's hard to do a likeness in this size and scale of a figure. It looks like Luke. It's got painted blonde hair, and then his eyes and eyebrows are painted. And the back also has nice details that are molded on. Luke's feet, of course, have the holes for the stand. His copyright marks, GMFGI 77 Hong Kong. And here is Luke's card back. Next up, the fearsome Tusken Raider, or as it's called on the card back, Sand People. This figure has the typical 5 basic points of articulation and came with 2 accessories, the cape and the scoffy stick. Here is the figure with no cape. The figure, sort of a beige khaki color. There's a lot of good detail, very movie accurate, I think, especially in a very small figure. The painted details are mostly brown, including the belt and this bandolier and the hands. And the fabric is molded to look as if it is draped. Painted and molded details do continue around to the back. A close-up of the face and the details on the chest. The cape is a piece of vinyl. Again, it's simple. And here is the fearsome weapon. And here's the other side. There are 5 points of articulation, so movement at the head, the shoulder, and the hip. Because of the nature of the weapon, both the hands are molded to hold onto it, and the figure can hold the weapon up in the air, over the head, etc. And here is the card back. Note the price, $1.86. We've got to work in a time machine, people. And last but not least, as he's called on the package, Ben Obi-Wan Kenobi. He is dressed in sort of a Jedi robes crossed with a desert dweller outfit. He also has a cape. His right arm is also molded to hold a lightsaber. His lightsaber is blue, and the mechanism works exactly the same way, where you push this forward to extend the saber. And this is not a telescoping saber either. Here is the figure without the cape. He's got 5 basic points of articulation as usual. Head, shoulders, hip. The outfit is also molded with a lot of detail. It's mostly brown with some black painted highlights, and his hands are painted. In the back, he has a molded hood. It's covered up by the cape, but it's a nice detail when you take the cape off. The figure is molded to look like fabric draping. This is a very nice figure, I think. He has painted hair, eyebrows, and a beard, and his eyes are painted. And I believe they painted over his ears. And here is his card back. Thank you so much for joining me today while we took a look at the other 4 of my original Star Wars action figures. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already done so. I'll see you next time, and until then, may the Force be with you. Bye!